Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show, powered by Primanti Bros. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, of course, we have the Dougie Fresh. Doug, you're on the show tonight, so therefore we all know Pirates lose. But they lose 8-0. Just
it's a loss. And right. It's not a competitive loss, just another loss. Lots of interesting things occurred, though. The weather pattern was phenomenal. Like, for example, when the Pirates hit the ball really hard, the heavy air knocked it down. But when the Cubs hit the ball really hard, it went over the fence, it went into the gap. So, I mean, I stopped really paying attention to the actual game after it was 2-0, but I was fascinated by how the heavy air was impacting the Pirates bats, but not the Cubs bats at all. So I was, going to try some, and Jim's asked how I'm doing tonight, Jim. Jim, I'm fine. Thank you. That's,
I mean, I knew better than to ask. There's
right. Yeah,
I just wanted to hear, especially a game after this, I just want to hear Doug go.
Yeah. Well,
you never disappoint.
It was strange, right? I mean, he retires 11 straight. He looks like the Heen God, I think you referred to him earlier in the evening. He looked fantastic. And then a really hard hit ball that Cruz makes a really nice play on. And then another hard hit ball. But he gets out of that inning. And then the next inning, it's just, just crush. Like, it was like a whole different picture. I mean, it was odd, right? I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. I'm not going to disregard it. I'm not like, okay, he'll be back fine next time. It makes me a little nervous. Did the Cubs figure something out? Did something happen? I don't know. I mean, he's been pitching over his, career stats over his head a little bit since he's been here. So hopefully it was just a blip. Cubs golly, I did not realize how good that lineup was. And maybe because I'm so used to looking at 170, 180, 170, type thing, to seeing everybody hitting 350. I was like, oh my.
You are allowed to do that.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah. Your batting average is allowed to have a 2 in the front part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're right, Doug. And we'll talk real further about this. But of course, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the home stretch for NBA and NHL playoffs. Has more ways to stay in the action with latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from MLB, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. But I'm with you, Doug. I tweeted out something. I've been doing it, I feel like, every game almost, because it's been happening, right? I just keep quote tweeting the last one where I say, Andrew Heaney's doing that thing where he looks really good. And he was. He retired, like you said, the first 11 batters. He was inducing a lot of weak contact. Now, there was a worry. I had a little bit of worry, but I'm not going to speak it into existence, right? I don't want to put bad things out there. But the previous times when he was doing the things, making him look really good, a lot of swing and misses, right? He had a lot of nasty stuff. Today, it wasn't so much. He had one swing and miss up at that point in time. But again, like, it's Andrew Heaney. He's a vet. He's inducing some weak contact. He's still looking good out there, but it was a little bit different this time. And like you said, once he hits the middle of the order and the second time around, they were just connecting on him. I mean, just tattooing him. So the first 10 batters, I should say the first 10 batters, but the first 10 balls in play, well, actually, it would have been the first 10 batters because everyone put a ball in play. The first 10 batters, one ball was hit hard. That was it. Over the next 6, 5 were hit 100 miles an hour or harder. And again, and then the control went away, sort of walking guys. It just, like you mentioned, just spiraled all out of hand at that point in time.
Yeah, it's something I've always paid attention to. It's like, you've seen guys and they give up a couple of those hard hits and they're outs, but you're like, ooh, that does not bode well for the fifth inning, the sixth inning, and so I was, even then when it happened, it made me a little nervous because again, he's not been giving up that kind of hard hit contact, and that was through the fourth inning, and I'm like, well, we'll see, and then golly, I mean, they just teed off on him. It was like batting practice. It was just, yeah, it was bizarre, really, just how, I mean, this team can be so Jekyll and Hyde, sometimes. I mean, he's been lights out all year, and then flip a switch and boom, everybody was crushing him. In an era of strikeouts, the Pirates did not strike out a single Cubs batter. I mean, it was just so many. It was just a weird night. It really was.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, as a matter of fact, I tweeted that out here as well. Now we got to find, this is the first time since June 2nd of 2009, the Pirates pitchers had not recorded a strikeout. Now, ironically enough, Zach Duke pitched in that game, Graybo and Caps, and they won also. That's not what happened this time. That's not what happened this time. No. They didn't record a strikeout.
Danger of that. Right.
And it was like, it wasn't as if Heaney had an off day and that was it. I mean, leaves, it's 4-0. Most teams, like, it's 4-0. It's not a good start. And this isn't to say like he did his job. He didn't, right? But he leaves the game early. It's a 4-0 game. You would think that it's still like the win's still in sight. It can happen. But like I said, the rest of the pitching staff more or less did the same thing. Kyle Nicholas actually was probably the best looking pitcher today, ironically enough. But yeah, like, it didn't stop there, and the Pirates lose pretty horribly.
Yeah, it was ugly. I mean, they did not. You can throw any single game in a season away, and they mean nothing after they're over. But it's like, boy, did we not? I hate the Cubs. The Cubs are my most hated team, so I hate losing to them like this. And it doesn't make me enthusiastic about tomorrow's game. It's like, come on, man. Like I mean, they look so much better than the Pirates do. Their lineup looks so much better. They just. Their hitting approach looks so much better. And, today their pitching looked so much better. So, it's just, again, I hope this is just something we can throw out and, bounce back over the next two games. Cause, again, it's hard to say that this team looked good but they looked better last week, right? I mean, it was a 3-3 road trip. You thought maybe they could come back home. They're facing good teams, but we had Heaney going. You thought we've got a chance, and boy, did that evaporate quickly.
Yep, no, for sure. And I'll tell you what, Doug. I mean, this was just a bad game. People sat through this and watched it, and I felt bad.
Hey, how many people do we have in the chat tonight? I'm curious.
You know what I'm going to do?
I'm sorry,
because I'm so nice. Right now, looks like about 85.
Okay, so that was more people than were at the game tonight. So I was just curious. I was curious because I mean there were at least more than Pirate fans. There were some Cub fans there, but and that's probably because some of them had to travel to go to the game. They don't get Pirates fans were they're here in the chat. So
Doug on a roll, but no, I want to give away some tickets. We said we could be doing this more often this year. We give them out to all the different socials. We want to, of course, present it to our YouTube members and such.
This sort of reminds me of an game. It reminds me of an old joke that like first place is a weekend in Cleveland and second place is 2 weeks in Cleveland, right? It's kind of like we're giving out tickets to a park. Are you sure that's a prize or is that a punishment?
I know. Like the thing is too, like they probably couldn't even sell them. Like there's no resale value on these. Like it's just all you get to tickets. And if you don't want to go, I'm sorry. You have to take these. But no, for real. I'm going to give away some tickets for Thursday's game. That is what Paul Skeens pitches.
Paul Skeens,
so at least there's that.
There is a prize. That's a prize.
Like we like to do, right? Appreciate all of our members on YouTube. We know we don't give too much to you guys. So here's an opportunity again. So all you have to do, as I'm doing right now in the chat, since you are a member, you have our emojis, right? And if you're not a member, you can be a member for 99 cents. That gets you access to all the emojis, early videos, and opportunities to win tickets. Probably every week, or at least every other week that we'll be doing this. So go ahead and hit your NS9 emoji in the chat. We'll give you guys at the end of the show, like we do with the Primanti Brothers sandwiches. We'll run the giveaway tool, and we'll give away some tickets for Thursday's game. But yeah, Doug, going back to this game. Sorry, that's the highlight of the show right now.
Please stay with us.
But yeah, like I said, go back to the show. Now, this isn't by any means, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way. Okay. Today was to me, a perfect example of baseball. And that's why, coming off of last week, going 3-3 in LA, it was just a net zero. You didn't gain anything, you didn't lose anything, but it could have been worse. It should have probably been better. But coming into this game, you want to take care of business at home. The game started off. O'Neal Cruz hits a blister. It's an out. Brian Reynolds hits a blister. It's an out. Touch, not really that hard. It was 94 miles an hour, right? A grounder, it's an out. The Pirates only struck out, six times tonight. I counted 4 balls of 600. I'm sorry, a 600 batting average or higher expected that were outs. There was a lot of bad luck for this offense. And I just say this because, trust me, the offense wasn't good enough to win this, and the pitching wasn't going to allow it. But this is also just one of those games where the offense didn't totally look pathetic or inept, if that makes sense, in an 8-0 ball game. I know I'm sounding kind of weird in saying that. Yes, it was only 7 hits.
You definitely are sounding kind of weird saying that.
But they also are making some pretty solid contact. And I get what you're saying too. Yes, there was a lot of balls that died in the outfield. I'm not going to blame that on the weather. But this is also something that we're not typically in this type of a game. It's a lot of strikeouts, a lot of just weak bloopers right down the second. Your typical Adam Frazier blooper or
you could also
base.
Call it a Joey Bart blooper because that's all Joey Bart
does. What was funny was, Bart was getting bloopers. The guy that was getting on base wasn't making good contact. Everyone else was getting outs. I just wanted to identify that. That's all. They actually were making some pretty solid contact. There's one takeaway from this game, especially offensively. They were making hard contact mostly.
I know you're right, and I know that's encouraging, but I don't know. I've just been hearing about hard contact now for about 3 years. Brian Hayes makes hard contact, and
I know,
Cruz hits
but
the ball
also
so hard, and it's
when
better than
Brian
striking
Hayes
out.
makes that hard contact, it's right into the ground. He makes. I think he hit it to left field a couple times, one for a hit.
I know it's better. I know it's better that they're hitting the ball hard because those eventually do, find some grass or find the seats or whatever. But it's just, this team, it just gets so frustrating that, our takeaways, our positives are, well, their outs were allowed.
I know.
Yep.
It doesn't take away they were over 5 with runners in scoring position. Brian Reynolds a big part. And again, mostly they weren't striking out, but bases were loaded. Brian Reynolds up, saw 3 pitches go right by.
Yeah.
Well, I should say he swung it. You didn't see. Watch, I guess call goodbye.
But
3 pitches, strikeouts.
I know.
That could have been a big point.
Go right down the middle. Right down it's 100 miles an hour, but it was right down the middle. It just there was. Yeah, there was a lot of bad. You're right, but there was some a slight glimmer of something positive. McCutchen still looks great at the plate.
And he was. It's a part of what I talked about.
Yeah.
He took 389.
Yeah.
Just looked so good off the bat, and of course,
it looked like it was
a catch.
But I think you guys talked about Reynolds yesterday on Bucko Brew. We need June Reynolds. We need him. We need June Reynolds. Starting tomorrow. I'd like to see Joey Bart start hitting the ball a little harder. I told Jim he was emulating his favorite player, Mitch Jebb. We're a lot of infield.
Mitch Jebb just taking all kinds of swings on here, and he's not even at the show yet.
Right, he's not even
on the monitors. Geez,
he's not even close to being on this show. But I know how much Jim loves
I don't know if I'm excited to be part of this major league team, because once I do, geez, they're gonna be so relentless against me.
Hey, at this point. Well, I'll take it. I will take a bunch of singles over hard hit outs. I will.
And Joey Bart did go for 2 for 2 with 2 walks, but those 2 hits, bloops, whatever you want to call them. Those weren't hard hits at all. But him and IKF, same boat.
Yeah,
for the most.
I know.
2 multi-hit games for them. Cruz does go over 3, but does have the walk. Reynolds goes over 4, 2 strikeouts. Kutch goes 1 for 4, had the big double. Did have a strikeout at the end, and he just that at bat. I mean, I assume like you're down 8-0, you're trying to make something happen. He doesn't usually swing at those balls way down low as he did there. But yeah, like and Hayes 1 for 4. I guess he continues he has a 9-game hit streak now. His average is still under 300 during that time frame, but hey, just 9-game hit streak, I guess. Gorski 0-4, 2 strikeouts. His OPS now to 500 after starting out with 1 for 1 with a home run.
I know. Come on, Matt Gorski. Yeah. I've been asking for you to be brought up for 2 years, and not actually because you can hit, just because I thought you'd be better than the other options. But
right,
dude, give me a little validation here, buddy, please.
Yeah. I know. But it just again, like it was a bad game. There's not too much to talk about in the sense of like scenarios. I mean, I guess this is a game. It's like you can't really blame anything with Shelton. You can't blame a scenario or situation. It just the pitching wasn't there. Colin Horderman does come in, and this is the type of situation you want him in. That we talked. I mean, like that Dodgers one. At this point in time, this game is pretty much out of hand. Yeah, use Colin Horderman. Maybe he started getting his confidence up, started getting in a groove, lower levels, situations and such. And 3 pitches, home run to the Cubs.
I think it was Dansby Swanson too. Dansby Swanson, like the one guy in their lineup that's hitting like he should be, the Pirates cleanup hitter. And 170 batting average, he'd fit right in here. Actually, he's kind of good defensively, so maybe he wouldn't. But it's like, come on. I mean, even Dansby Swanson, who I mean, again, is a nice player, but he has not started out the season well.
Right.
And he got one off old Holderman.
He did. You know who has started off the season well? Pete Crow Armstrong. And yeah, he took that.
He has.
Again, that was like the dagger with Heaney. Man, Pete Crow Armstrong. Like, how nice is it to see a young prospect just come up and be good? I mean, there was hardly any learning curve. Now, I know offensively it wasn't that great last year. Defense
he struggled a little last year.
But his offense right now, I mean, he is looking good right now. I think he was like the 3rd highest as far as WAR goes, rated player in MLB, and I'm sure that's going to go higher as of tonight.
And he was the one that that Cruz made the nice catch on too, right? I mean, he was an inch away from even that much better of a performance. And you're right, it's just wow. So you bring up a guy, a young high draft pick, and he struggles a little, and then he finds his footing and he turns into somebody really good. I mean, I would love to see that happen here.
They're saying it was Tucker. So
that was Tucker. Sorry. Yeah, Pete Crow Armstrong was still outstanding today. So yeah. And Pete Crow Armstrong, what is he batting? Like he's batting 7th or 8th in the lineup, hitting 868 OPS.
Yep.
Again, he'd be our best hitter right now. So
Cubs lineup is no joke. Again, like we saw
really solid.
And that is what's kind of frustrating because it's early in the year. I get it. Like it's not May as of yet. The team is 11-19 though right now, and this is a in division series at home against the team that's in first place. And you mentioned about talking yesterday, like on Bucko Brew, like we did bring this up, and this is going to be something we'll be talking about for quite some time until it's probably pointless to talk about it. Hopefully that's later than sooner. But you probably need to win the division in this division to go to the playoffs. Like I don't foresee a wild card coming in the NL Central. There's just too many good teams that are better than what remains in the remaining NL. And
right. So they could both come from either the East or the West, the 2 wild card teams, right? They could easily each one of those could easily have 2. So or but certainly it doesn't look like it will wild card team will come from the Central.
Right.
So
and that's the problem. And that's why like I don't want to totally overblow right now because again it's April and I understand that, but baseball and math is synonymous. And a lot of odds and averages, like everything that comes in. And as far as Fangraphs go, coming to this game, the Pirates had a 4.8% chance of making the playoffs, and they lose this one. And again, that's why like this game is kind of important for a late April type of game. It's the Cubs that are in first place.
I mean, you're right. The math is not mathing for the Pirates right now. You last year, I think the last wild card team had 89 wins. So you need 90. You need 90 wins to make the playoffs in the National League, and we've got 11 wins. It means we need 79 more wins. I'm not sure that's yeah, Sean. I don't think we have a 20-8 stretch in us. I don't. Yeah, yeah, 580 winning percentage through the remainder of the season. That seems unlikely unless they make some immediate and dramatic changes. Unless they call up
Right.
Baltimore and say, "Okay, we've got some pitching and you've got some hitting. Let's get something done."
And like the thing is too, like it's not even so much like for any team that almost sounds like a tough task.
Yeah,
But this is a team with a lot of areas of opportunity. And the problem is like so far through these 20 games, like or 30 games, like you're seeing that. Like just today, like you're right. Andrew Heaney has been outperforming. Like that's not going to sustain. But I do still like Andrew Heaney. I still think he is what we thought he was. He's going to come over and be an above average pitcher. He's going to give you innings, quality innings, help out this team in many ways. So I do believe in that. But like the bullpen, especially with the injuries that are piling up right now, Bednar, you need to be good. Holderman, you need to be good. It's been pleasant to see Santana, Baraki, Wentz, and then of course Justin Lawrence. You like them doing their thing. Sugar, like there's been some quality depth, but like now with Mays on the IL for looks like quite some time. Now with Lawrence on the IL for looks like quite some time.
Right.
Halderman's back. He still looks not good. Bednar's back. He's looked better. Tonight wasn't it.
But, yeah.
And you hope tonight was maybe the one-off. Everyone's entitled to that. But tonight's
the closer coming in a
doesn't-
non-closer role and giving up a home run type. You know what I'm saying? That you could, if he had been pitching better, you'd say, yeah, he was brought in. It's 8-0. He gives up a triple to somebody. Whatever. It's fine.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And there's all kinds of the stats like, well, when it's not in a save situation, he's terrible. And then you could like say, well, that was David Bednar today. But the problem is like he doesn't have that track record anymore. The track record right now is starting to say it's more shaky than anything. So I'm still like unsure of David Bednar, even though things have been looking more positive to some degree. But how much positivity is there? Like, what does that get you? More positive, but is that still like, okay, you're maybe a middle reliever still at this point in time, opposed to like an 8th or 9th inning guy? So yeah, like the bullpen still, as you see today, evidence, right? Still pretty shaky and it's getting kind of thin again. So like, there's a lot of problems. And of course, it certainly all starts with the offense. And today, and like, again, that's why I want to put it out there. I just want to say like there was a lot of bad luck. They were hitting the ball pretty hard. But again, like this offense scored 0 runs. Like it still wasn't good. They have to find ways to do that. And you saw on the other end, the Cubs offense. You see this team, like heading into this year, the pitching was going to carry the Pirates. Who knew that? But the Cubs pitching isn't all that far off from the Pirates. You saw the guy that was out there today, but you also see that offense. That's a major league offense. That's one that you have to be a force with. Does this one stack up anywhere near that? Early in the season, I think Jim's going to talk more about this, but you look at the Yankees series. Like this is a nice series, a matchup to see like where you stack. Like they're the Yankees. Where do you stack up against them? You saw how that one went. Now you get the Cubs, which is in division as well. And you see where this is what the series is going to do. You're going to see where you stack up with them. And it ain't close.
Yeah, no. After one game, it's very discouraging, right? I mean, again, when their lineup first popped up on the, here's tonight's starters, I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that they were that good. And then they delivered, right? They were that good up and down throughout the lineup. They delivered. And that's just foreign to us. We've had one game this year where sort of like all 9 guys contributed. That was that 18 hit explosion. Most of our games, it seems that either it's Cruz, Reynolds, and Kutch doing something, and then there's those odd games where it's Adam Frazier, IKF, and Pham, doing something, but never at the same time, never together, that sort of thing. So yeah, their offense can make up for their pitcher having an off day. Our offense is often not good enough to win games where our pitcher is really good.
Right.
So they can't even get the wins that we should get. They're hardly ever going to make up for. Again, you go down 2-0 in the fourth inning, and you're like, this is probably over. There's still a little hope. You don't haven't quite turned off the TV yet, but and then all of a sudden it's 4-0 and then 5-0, and then right, you're just like,
Right.
okay, this team is not scoring 6 runs in the next 4 innings. So
yep. And it's also too, like, why this game was important. Again, it's baseball. Anything can happen on any day. But when you look at the matchups, you look at the schedule right now, tomorrow's the Carmen Mlodzinski start. We have some sample size. It still might be small, but we have some sample size, and it tells us that tomorrow might not be the game that they're probably going to win. If you're looking to get 2 out of 3 because you want to win the series, obviously, you probably need to be Andrew Heaney Day. And of course, it's Paul Skeens Day. You always look at that day being that's the day that you can probably pencil it in. You still have to play the game
at winning,
but that's the day you feel strong about. So that could be one game, right? So then Andrew Heaney could be the next one. With this one being lost, and of course the way it was lost. I mean, this was lost. There's no hope.
Right
Now it comes down if you want to win the series, you got to win the next 2, and that's on a Carmen Mlodzinski starts.
Right.
Does this team go 11?
There's only one thing to do with that tomorrow. And that's he does not pitch in the 4th inning. You let him get to those 3 shutout innings, and I saw something that Harrington was supposed to start tonight and he didn't, and people were thinking maybe he was going to come up, and so maybe he comes up tomorrow, and maybe they bring him up, and he comes in the 4th inning, and they do a bullpen day or something. But if we go into that 4th inning, and Mlodzinski's not giving up anything through 3, and we send him back out there, I mean, to me, I tweeted this out earlier today. We'll know if this team has any intention of winning or any urgency about winning is if Mlodzinski. Look, I'm all for the Mlodzinski as a starter experiment. That should be occurring in AAA. Until he can get through the 6th inning in AAA.
Yeah,
because it's not. I mean, again, I prefer him in the bullpen. Our bullpen immediately gets better if he's in the bullpen, and Bubba's up to 70 pitches in his last start. And it's getting right around the time. Skeens came up May 11th, I think, made his debut. Came up on the 10th, made his debut on the 11th. It's getting close to Bubba time.
Yeah. Well, I do want to cut you off here. That was something that was said earlier. I do want to stress he did pitch today. that's
okay. All right. Yeah.
So Harrington
and I know
today,
that,
just put the numbers out there. It was 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Much better than what he has been pitching lately. That's not going to help for tomorrow, but that might help for a later day. If it's not Bubba Chandler, I don't know. But yeah, so tomorrow it's not going to be a Harrington coming up, but maybe it's some combination of something else. Like maybe it is Mlodzinski for the first 3 and they bring in Joey Wentz, right? Like that could be a potential option, right? I do hope what you're saying is true. I do hope they recognize this guy has been nails the first time through the lineup. I'm fine if he's the air quotes starter and it's more of like the piggyback situation you're alluding to. And I think Wentz, like him and Wentz could be a perfect combination for that. But yeah, it's not going to be him and Harrington. But we'll find out. But like, yeah, tomorrow's kind of an important game because if you do win tomorrow, then the series could be back on. Again, it's Paul Skeens. You don't feel any better than having Paul Skeens on there. And then again, like if you do win this series, it makes today's loss a little bit better, and it makes things a little better as you keep going because now you're 12-19 and that's not good. But to get to where you want to be, you have to start stacking these wins. So losing this first one at home, it's kind of big because tomorrow looks pretty shaky.
Right. When you were mapping out how this series could go in our, the best possible way is that Heaney wins tonight, Skeens wins on Thursday. Hopefully they use Mlodzinski appropriately. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. Yeah. But now it's like, again, it's imperative, right? You win tomorrow and you sort of erase what happened today because you have Skeens going on. And again, Skeens pitching is no guarantee because of the offense or lack of, but it's your best chance, right? It's your best chance each week of winning is when Paul Skeens pitches. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Doug, and for everyone in the chat, once again, we're going to give away 2 tickets. Speaking of Paul Skeens, to see Paul Skeens start on Thursday against the Cubs. So for all of our YouTube members, once again, a big thank you to you all. Go ahead and put the NS9 emoji into the chat. That's your way of getting entered, just like how we do for the Primanti Brothers sandwiches, right? The hashtag raise it. So, and if you can't put an emoji, it's because you're not a member. So if you want your chance to win 2 tickets to see Paul Skeens pitch this Thursday, you can become a member. Hit that join button right below. 99 cents all month long. But yeah, go ahead and get the NS9 emoji in there. We'll give away those 2 tickets. So this is our wrap up here. Let everyone know. Go ahead and do that. So as we're preparing for everyone to do that, any last words here, Doug?
No, yeah. I mean, get a membership quick. Get in a chance to get some tickets to see Skeens pitch. You can't beat that. And thanks. I mean, I just can't believe how many of you join us after this kind of game. Right? I'm just surprised we're not all so disgusted. We've gone out and kicked the dog or something. So thank you.
Don't kick the dog. Not on pup night. Don't kick the dog.
Thank you for joining us, and kick us a little. That's fine.
Right. Well, you all can kick us on May 24th when we're there at PNC Park for a live tailgate. So yeah, and if you haven't RSVP for that, we'll have our tailgate. Hopefully the Pirates won't be, out of the playoff picture completely by then with a 0%. But yeah, May 24th against the Brewers. We'll be there. We'll have free sandwiches from Primanti Brothers. Come join. Have a good time. Regardless, we're going to have a good time. That's for sure.
It's going to be fun. We'll have a good time.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do it then, Doug. Let's go ahead and give away these tickets.
Good luck.
For anyone who wins, you know the deal. Go ahead and email us, DM us. All I need is your email address. That way I can give you the tickets Thursday morning. All right. DeKey, you're the winner.
Congrats, DeKey.
That profile picture, the sad Pirates fan, if that's not the epitome of today.
Yeah, it sums up quite well.
Right. That's a good one. All right. Well, yes, congratulations. You win 2 tickets to go see Paul Skeens on Thursday. Like I said, DM us, preferably on Twitter, Instagram. If not, email us, and I'll get this to you Thursday morning when they come into my account. So with that being said, Doug, we out?
We are out. Thanks, guys. We'll be back tomorrow.
That's right. We will. Appreciate y'all. Bye-bye.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.